These groups, you know, United Patriot Front, have 3 members and a dog, and the dog was dragged, usually to the event. The Jackboots United, whoever they are, no one ever turns up. These are tiny little fringe groups that shouldn't be taken seriously.
I want to raise the people up! Strength, honour, pride, feel it in your hearts!
Here, Blair Cotterall, I'd never heard of him. He's clearly an idiot. This man is an idiot.
I think one of the major problems we have in Parliament in our country is these ministers are more concerned with their position and their salary and remaining comfortable than doing what is necessary, taking the hard stances to make sure this country is protected and a future is established for it.
He's clearly an idiot.
They're terrible people. Let's say they're terrible people. They're terrible people. Let's say they're terrible people.
But I'm saying that there is some sort of limit to the idea of free speech. There is in the racial discrimination.
Who's going to draw that line?
Well, I'm going to draw that line.
Politician?
Okay, let's begin by asking a few objective questions. What are the motivations of these people? Why would they stubbornly lie to their own countrymen through these television networks, slander and denigrate members of a working class political movement? Well, there's a few explanations. First, these people earn a comfortable salary and they say exactly what their media bosses want them to say. You don't need to be a sober-thinking intellectual to get a job with mainstream media at the moment. You just need to be a good bureaucrat who does what they're told. Secondly, it's arrogance and fear. These people come from money and higher education opportunities. And so when they see someone like me, someone with no higher education and no special status, rising in popularity or infamy, they get offended and afraid. They'll say it's because I'm an idiot Nazi, but the real reason is A, they can't handle the fact that their whole world view of equality is being proven an outright lie. And B, they just cannot believe that regular people with regular jobs are forming an effective political resistance against the system they've come to depend on so much. They are greedy, they are arrogant, and they're afraid. And that is why we have fake news. Now, former Labor Minister Craig Emerson, the guy who quit Sky News in moral outrage after seeing me speak on the Adam Giles show, outlined his reasons for quitting here. My father fought Nazis in World War II and was interred in a German prisoner of war camp. Blair is a Nazi. Craig, I know I look the part, but I am not a German soldier from 1943. I'm not going to turn you into a lampshade, mate. But this guy is actually still tweeting about me a week later. Everyone who supports Blair is a Nazi, and they won't stop messaging me. Don't they know 60 million people were killed in World War II? And 25 million of those were killed in the most gruesome fashion by communists in Russia alone. In 1932, 7 million ethnic Ukrainians were intentionally starved to death by Stalin and the Communist Party. That's long before the war began, and before Hitler even came to power in Germany. Bolshevik communists even boasted about it at the time. Food is a weapon, said Maxim Litvinov, who was the Soviet Commissar of Foreign Affairs in 1933. And Craig, as well as every other morally superior television personality, didn't seem to have any problem with Sky News playing host to Lily Campbell from Socialist Alternative in Sydney, explaining why socialism is so awesome.
USSR and China, socialist countries, for a world that's run by ordinary people for ordinary people, and that's what socialism is.
And Vladimir Lenin said that the goal of socialism is communism. Lenin also said that if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. I suppose media and government bureaucrats in Victoria are pretty well versed in that one. But who better to champion the moral outrage against me than Craig Emerson, who cheated on his wife with Julia Gillard? But Craig is such a good media and government pet that it's actually really hard to find any real details on that affair. Are you even surprised that Craig is also the president of the Australia-China Business Council? I wonder where this guy gets his money and backing from. The same place Sam Dastyari did, I suppose. But there's literally too many attacks against me in the mainstream media right now for me to possibly cover them all in this video. But ask yourselves why. These people all make a lot of money. They are all quote-unquote higher educated. They all reach millions of Australians every week. I'm a carpenter from the southeastern suburbs. Why so much effort to slander a chippy? I must really be upsetting some powerful people. But I told you this would happen from the start, from the very beginning of my political activity. I said first they would send physical intimidation, which they did with so-called Antifa. They failed flat. So then it was media slander, trying to intimidate me by making me think I'm going to lose my job by writing nasty things about me in the papers. But I work for myself. I'm a self-employed tradesman with my own clientele and my own reputation in that industry. They cannot damage me in that way. And so what was next? Legal attacks. They sent me to court for intending to incite ridicule of Muslims. But it looks like that charge may be invalid. My lawyer and I are going to the High Court next to get that charge knocked out. So what you've really been seeing from the mainstream media and from the government for the past week is these so-called intellectuals and bureaucrats and the high officers and institutions losing their minds because no matter what they do to me, they cannot scare me. I told them from the start, if you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me. And good luck with that. You'll need to send someone pretty good. I'm certainly not intimidated by cheating, lying, self-absorbed bureaucrats for the current regime. They can call me a Nazi all day, every day, as they have been doing for the past 5 or 6 days. It really doesn't bother me, because it's all just words on a screen. And in the end, through their subjectivity and effrontery, they are only helping to concentrate the attention of the general public on me and this movement. And by censoring me, they are only enticing regular people to try to find out more about me for themselves. I really should be thanking them. Maybe that's what Jesus meant when he said, love your enemies. See you soon.